September 1st through September 10th. Now, right away, we have Saturn re-entering Pisces. Now, situations that were going on March 23rd to May 25th of this year are going to resurface. So keep notes, see what's coming up. If you have notes from that time period, see what was going on back then. We're going to have things resurface. You may feel like you're, spinning in a circle or going backwards. But remember, Saturn is a builder. It's not a destroyer. So review your actions. You can master the situation. You're going to go back and see what cycles need to be broken. Saturn, remember, it rules things like your career, your long-term standing in the world. It owns the 10th house in astrology. And the 10th house, a lot of people just say your career, but remember, it's the house of your legacy. It's the house of your reputation. Not everybody's working in a career, right? Some people are home raising children. Some people are volunteering and doing great work in that regard. So this is about your legacy as Saturn re-enters the sign of Pisces to do some last final cleanup until it moves into Pisces again in 29 years. Now, so that's on Monday the 1st. Now, on the 2nd, Mercury, the planet of communication, the messenger, remember it rules merchants, so it rules stores, it rules delivery of information, it rules literal deliveries, is going to move into Virgo. Well, hey, that's its best placement. It rules the sign Virgo. Virgo is the analyzer. Now, Mercury is moving really fast, so it's only going to be there from September 2nd to September 18th. This is a fabulous time for you to get your ducks in a row. This, let's see, everything can change, but keep the original plan handy because on September 3rd, Mercury is going to square the oh wow planet Uranus. So feathers will be ruffled. Uranus retrograde is then going to begin on September 6th. So we're probably going to revisit what's been going on. And so have that original plan because I know Mercury in Virgo is going to have a well thought out, detailed, analyzed plan. But Uranus likes to come in and stir the pot and bring in new stuff. Now, a lot of people are afraid of Uranus, right? Oh, wow planet, the lightning bolt planet. And, my daughter was asking me the other day, what planet do you think would have prominence in my chart for my career to increase, right? She's a musician. What planet would make it like something just hits? And the first thing that came to mind is Uranus, right? Uranus just shows up out of the blue. So Uranus may come in and change the plan, but keep the original plan because it was well thought out. Keep it handy and observe what Uranus is showing you because Uranus is almost like, to me, it's like divine intervention. So it may be outside of what you could even analyze. So it's not there to destroy your idea, although Uranus is really good at that, but it's there to bring in a higher octave of what information you may not even be able to rationalize at this point. Okay, so this doesn't have to be a bad thing. So plans will change, but keep the original plan handy. Now on the 3rd, we have action square emotions, and they both really have their place. So the moon is going to be squaring the planet Mars, the planet of action, and it's going to be opposite Jupiter, so that makes things big. The moon will be in the sign of Capricorn on the 3rd. So the moon rules our emotions in general, and then Mars just wants to go out there and do it. So you really have to pay attention to feeling. It's not all just about forward action. There's some things about going internal also. Now, on the 4th, the moon's going to move into Aquarius early in the morning. And the 4th is when we have Mars, the planet of action, in Libra, relationship sign, cardinal air sign. And it's going to be squaring Jupiter, the planet of luck and blessings, in the sign of Cancer. Now, remember, Mars in Libra, worst position for Mars. I think it's called its detriment. The rules and the laws. Okay, Mars is like, let's do this. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, very best placement for it. And so we call that the home field advantage. So you can win. So if there's legal things going on, or you have, paperwork and documents and things that you're like, I don't know if this is going to work in my favor, envision it working out, because Jupiter's lucky and things just can click into place, and it's in the advantage here. Okay. So keep in mind, you can win September 4th. Now, Friday the 5th, get stuff done. But remember, we're heading to a score of Pisces full moon, and we're going to head to that on the 7th, right? So it's at 2:09 a.m. on the 7th. So emotions are going to run high. They always run high during a full moon, but this is a Pisces full moon and a lunar eclipse. So hold on to your hat. So with the moon in the sign of Aquarius, the moon and Mars are going to be trining each other, so we can definitely get things done. But remember that emotions run high. Avoid confrontation. Be careful. Don't get sloppy on a Pisces full moon. Okay, remember, Pisces rules drugs, it rules alcohol, it rules jails, it rules hospitals, it rules anything that takes us away from society. So do it in a positive way. It rules retreating and meditating. And I think of spas and swimming and floating and creative energy. Use it in a positive way. So on the 6th, we go into Uranus retrograde in the air sign of Gemini. So Uranus retrograde is going to run from September 6th to February 23rd of next year. Uranus is absolute and uncompromising. You might feel a pendulum swinging. You might embrace the very things that you once found objectionable. Ideals will dawn on you, and changes can be long-lasting. Uranus and Gemini, all you Geminis, this is going to be an interesting time with Uranus in your sign. I believe it does very well in your sign, and it's going to bring in newness. This can be new opportunities. This can be things out of the blue. This can be new people, okay? But it's going to feel very extreme, back and forth, and it may even shift your viewpoint on some things. Now, Saturday, the moon moves into the sign of Pisces at 11:54 a.m. So make sure you have your moon water going. Remember, moon water is the art of putting water into a nice glass jar and letting it charge up to the moon's rays. So you may want to do this a few days before and a few days after this full moon. And I like to write down some of my orders, or with the full moon, I often like to celebrate the things that I have received, the things that I am in gratitude for. So you may want to make a list of that. You can place that list under the water, put it in a window or as close as you can get to a window, and let it simmer and absorb the energy of this full moon. Now, Saturday, be open to new ideas. And imagine. Pisces is really good at imagining, paving the way by visualizing it and feeling it first. Sunday, full moon, 2:09 p.m. The sun will be conjunct Mercury, the planet of communication, and it will be opposite the moon in Pisces with Saturn and Neptune hanging out close by. This moon, called the harvest moon, will be trining Jupiter, the planet of luck, blessings, and expansion. And in the meantime, Mars, the planet of action, will be squaring Jupiter. So there's tons of stuff going on. Want to allow this lunar eclipse to take away something that we no longer need. So we can often offer up what it. One of the interesting things is you've got Uranus, the oh wow planet, trining Pluto, the planet of transformation and change. And right between that, at the midpoint between that, we have Neptune, and Neptune's the healer. So we have the potential for great healing here, but it's all dependent on what we do now. It's dependent on our choices now. So allow what isn't serving you to leave and maybe admit that it left a long time ago. Hold on, stay calm, get a lot of rest during this Pisces full moon and eclipse. So I'm going to pull a couple cards here for you for this week ahead, this powerful, powerful week ahead. I've got a new deck here that I'm pretty excited about, the Curious Travels Tarot deck. Been enjoying this one. And so that's 2 from that deck. I'm also going to give you one from one of my other newer favorites, which is the Magical Hours Tarot. All of these are in stock in Kent, Connecticut, and soon, I know I've said this many times, but soon it will be available on our online store. Okay, and let's give you a power animal for the week ahead here. This is coming from the Spirit of the Animals Oracle. Really great one. So let's see what power animal you have for this first week of September. I mean, look how much activity is already happening this first week of September. Now, your first card is the High Priestess. And interesting, can't even see her face. What is she holding? I think she's holding a pomegranate. This is card number 2. This is Major Arcana number 2. This is the power of the feminine. She is ruled by the moon. We're in a full moon week. A lot of messages, you will receive a lot of messages. They may even come in through your dreams. Write them down, pay attention. Remember, when messages come through the fluid body, through feeling, they don't always make sense. And that's why it's really good to write things down, to contemplate it, look back at it, and see what its meaning is later, especially since we have a lot of themes of foreshadowing for what's coming in July. You have the Wheel of Fortune. So you got 2 major arcanas this week. This is a Sagittarius card. I was referencing this card because next year this will be one of our cards of the year. We've got the eye up there protecting. We've got some reference to Egyptian. I'm not very good at that, but we have a lot of different references here and a lot of forms of protection. We see a symbol for Saturn kind of running down the side of that. The Wheel of Fortune asks us to surrender, to look at the bigger picture, and to get glimpses of the future. Now, our third card is the 5 of Pentacles, and I think this about sums it up, how we may feel through all of this. So we have to hold on to the support that we can hold on to. 5 of Pentacles shows change of value, change of what's important. And I definitely think the theme for September is change, leading into even more change, especially as we go into 2026. All right, let's see what your power animal is here for this week. And we have the sea turtle, protection. It says you are a master of finding life's flow. Be in harmony with the rhythm and your path will unfold. Preserve and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and happy. So the word preserve jumped out to me. This is the harvest moon and preserving for later, right? Some people are literally making preserves, right? Or canning. And so get into the flow, keep things simple, preserve your energy too. There's a lot of change coming. You will succeed. We saw themes of Saturn. We saw Saturn running down the side of that card, which is about long-term success. So the sea turtle is your spirit animal this week. And really and truly, like, they're pretty magnificent creatures. And I've never really, I haven't been to Hawaii yet. I hope to be, I have a daughter there. So I need to see these sea turtles and I need to see my daughter. I can imagine how magnificent they are swimming like that and what prehistoric energy they have also. So just be yourself. I almost think it must look funny to see this gigantic turtle swimming. It's a Pisces full moon. We're going to be swimming in emotion, but we're also swimming in creativity. And so harness that energy, preserve that energy for yourself and for others this week ahead.